Hi everybody, it's great to be back here again. Tomorrow it's Friday, and it's great to be back in the land of Israel. Wow. We just came back last night. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful landing, I'll tell you. The reason I'm stressing the landing is because as we're approaching the Israeli airspace in Ben Gurion Airport, so the pilot announces that there's a storm and they have to get permission to land. And it was amazing. Finally, they gave permission after hovering over a little bit, and the pilot made a great landing. And everyone was clapping their hands and so happy to be home. There are really no words to describe. After being away a month in Galut, a month in exile, and coming home to the land of Israel and feeling, breathing the air and just coming back home. And I say it all the time, but it's something you can only feel if you really live here, and then you leave it and come back to it. It's like sitting on a chair for hours. You don't realize you're sitting on a chair, but if you're standing up and you're exhausted, and finally someone gives you a chair, what a relief. You appreciate what you have, and that's the word, appreciation. It's great to be back. I can say it 1,000 times in many ways. I feel so bad. A month we weren't together, and you're probably asking, when are we coming back? When are the lessons starting again? But anyway, here we are, and I hope to give a little message today, something. The trip to America was interesting. It was the weather. First of all, there was no winter there. Literally, we were in New York City most of the time, which was pretty warm. And here I am in Israel. You see, I'm wearing a very warm shirt today. I found hanging up right over here. I'm on the hanger over here, on the entrance to the door, and it's windy, freezing, snow mixed with like hail out there, windy, like in waves it comes. Pretty cold, very cold, and but it's Israel and it's beautiful, and we're so happy to be back. And let's begin. Let's start with a little Torah lesson. When I was in exile, when I was out there, and I spoke in many synagogues, but the Knesset, as we say in Hebrew. Getting into conversations with some of the Jewish people was telling me that they're waiting for Messiah. They're waiting for Messiah to come. I said, wonderful, Yashar Koyach, you're waiting for Messiah. But how about doing something about it? I'd like to open up and discuss, connected to this week's portion. We are finishing the book of Parashat. We're beginning the book of Shmot, a new book now. The Torah, you see how fast the year goes by. I can't believe we just started here. We already completed the book of Parashat. Wow. But anyway, as an introduction, I'd like to read to you a small passage from the Talmud in the tractate of, this is really the Jerusalem Talmud. I can quickly say is that the Talmud is divided into two kinds of Talmud, the Jerusalem and the Babylonian Talmud. So I'm going to read you a part of the Babylonian Talmud. And it says like this, the tractate of Brachot. It says, Rabbi Chia Rabba, Rabbi Chia Rabba, Rabbi Shimon ben Chalafta, these were, again, great Amoraim, and they were Havu mehalchim bahada bikat Arabel bekritzata, and they were going in the valley of Arabel as the morning was approaching. V'ra'u ayelet hashachar, and they saw the morning star. Shebaka ora, the light of the morning star was coming up. Amar Rabbi Chia Rabba leRabbi Shimon ben Chalafta, כך היא גאולתן של ישראל בתחילה קימה קימה. כל מה שהיא הולכת היא רבה והולכת. So we see here that Rabbi Shimon says, Rabbi Chia says to Rabbi Shimon ben Chalafta, that this is the way the redemption of the Jewish people will take place, step by step, kima kima, and as it goes on, it gets stronger and stronger. And then he goes on to bring some examples of the story in the book of Esther of Mordechai HaYehudi, and the salvation that took place during the time of Purim. But anyway, I'd like to take this important midrash in the Gemara, which says, again, this is the way the redemption process will take place, step by step. It's not going to happen in one moment, but it's going to be a process. It could be hastened through achishena, through making go by faster, but the redemption is a process. And a lot of people are making a mistake when they're waiting around for something to happen, something like miracle to take place overnight. It's not going to be that way. But slowly, bit by bit, we can actually see the realization of this tremendous blessing of redemption that We are promised in our prophets by God from the time immemorial. It's taking place today. There's a joke that is told. A person who was in, I guess I may be messing up the joke a little bit, but I'd like to mention it because I think it really connects to this idea. A person was drowning in a ship, and he's saying, praying to God, I'm relying on God's going to come and save me. And then some lifeguard comes over, swims out to him, come on, I'm ready to take you back and save you. He goes, no, I'm waiting for God to save you. To save me. The lifeguard goes, are you crazy? You're going to drown? No, God's going to save you. Okay. He goes away, and a Coast Guard shows up, and they're willing to save this guy. Come on, get on the boat. We're taking you out. You're drowning. No, God is going to save me. And the boat's going down and down. And a helicopter comes and is willing to pull him out, and he refuses to get in the helicopter because he said God is going to save him. And eventually he drowns and dies. He drowns to death. When he gets up in heaven, they say to him, what's going on? Well, what's going on? How did you get up here? Why didn't you utilize those who came to save your life? And he says, what do you mean? I was relying on you, God, to come and help me. He says, you're relying on me? I sent you a lifeguard. I sent you the Coast Guard. I sent you many options of being saved, and you didn't get on the boat, basically. And this joke, which is so powerful, which is so true, is that we don't open our eyes and realize a lot of people, they have their own picture in mind of what redemption's all about, and they're going to wait around until that happens, that picture takes place. But when God is building it and actually making it happen and bring it to our doorstep, and we don't get on that wave, and we don't get on that boat, we're waiting for something that we, the way our interpretation, our understanding seems to override that of God's understanding, which is insane, right? We have to follow the steps that God outlines for us. And that is really, I think, what the Talmud here in the tractate of Brachot, the Yerushalmi is saying, this is the way of redemption of Israel, step by step. You have to follow those steps as well and get on that boat before you drown. Get on that boat. And that really is the important message. And why am I opening up this week's portion? Of course, this week's portion is the book of Shmot. We're beginning a new book all about our redemption. Of course, redemption begins with exile. We have to be redeemed from some kind of situation. And if we look in this week's portion, we see, I'd like to read a verse and really just expand a little bit on this verse. And the verse says like this. If we look in chapter number 5 in the book of Exodus, verse number 22. Vayashov Moshe el Hashem, Moshe Rabbeinu returns to God. Vayomar, and he says to Hashem, Hashem, lama hareota la'am hazeh? Why did you make it bad for this nation? Lama zeh shlachtani? What did you send me for? Now, why is Moshe Rabbeinu so upset? Moshe Rabbeinu is upset because the situation is not getting better. As we know, when he told Paro to let the people of Israel out of Egypt, he now made them gather their own straw. Not only that, to maintain the same amount of quantity of bricks, but now they have to actually gather their own straw and keep up with that same quantity. And that's what Moshe Rabbeinu says. Me'az bati el Paro, from the minute I started coming to Paro, in your name, it got worse. The situation is getting worse. And you did not save your nation. Vayomar Hashem el Moshe ata tireh, and God says to Moshe Rabbeinu, you will see, Asher yaseh leParo, you will see what I will do to Paro. Ki biyad chazaka, with a strong hand, yishalachim, he will send them out. Ubiyad chazaka yigarshem marzo, and he will again, with a strong hand, send them out and chase them out of his land. So God is saying to Moshe Rabbeinu, you may think things are getting worse. I'm going to show you. He says the words, powerful words, ata, which means, tire, now you're going to see. Now you're going to see what's going to go on. You're going to see the truth. Now this, Moshe Rabbeinu's, feeling that the situation is getting worse, and then God telling him, now you're going to see, I think it's a very important lesson here. These two verses, these couple of verses I read, such an important lesson, and why? In reality, in life, a lot of people, especially now when I was on my trip, a lot of people were asking us what's going on with all the rammings and all the stabbings and all the terrible attacks that are going on in Israel. And the world, the European Union branding our products, and again, the call of a two-state solution, things that are sort of going against Israel, sort of, but obviously going strongly against Israel, and preventing our progress, preventing our redemption seemingly from going further and taking place? And my answer is these lines right over here. We see that right before things get better, right before redemption takes place, sometimes we have to go through difficult situations. And that really is what's happening. All these difficult situations we've been through. Since the founding of the new state of Israel, and the wars and the different intifadot, and now the rammings and the stabbings, and this crazy situation of trying to brand us the European Union, and again calling for a two-state solution. These are really like a candle before it burns out, always flickers the strongest. So this is like we call the husks, these evil forces trying to show their strength right before they burn out. And that, here God is saying to Moshe Rabbeinu, here Paro is trying to make it harder for you all. Things are going to get worse, but they will eventually get better. And he says, you will see they will get better. You will be witness to a situation that will get better and be reversed, and the redemption, of course, will take place. And this is what the Talmud says in Yerushalmi, what the story brings down later on in that same passage I brought down about Mordechai Yehudi and Esther, the queen. We know that in the beginning, the wicked Haman was lifted up on a pedestal, and he was supposed to be this, the second in command, and all these promises to wipe out the people of Israel, but everything was turned around. So sometimes things seem pretty bad, but they get turned around. And that we have to wait very patiently for. Because the Talmud says it's a step-by-step process. And we see it happening. If you were living, before we had the state of Israel, you have a good reason to be, wow, what's going on over here? Look at what happened in the Holocaust. So slowly but surely, the darkness is being cast away by light that is being added to us. But of course, during those steps, we're going to have to go through some trials and tribulations. That's the way it is. That's the way God runs the ship. We have to really wake up to that fact. And here, I must relate, my feelings when I was, again, speaking in synagogues, and I found different kinds of synagogues. When I was speaking, there are those who are more supportive to what's going on in Judea and Samaria, and unfortunately, there are those who are very indifferent and oblivious to what's happening, and it was very painful. I feel an indifference of Jews to their own people, their own brothers and sisters here living in Israel, and they're basing themselves, you can call it maybe justifying themselves on this, waiting for Messiah kind of behavior, which is ridiculous, because we have to make Messiah take place. And others that are more, I would say, on one hand, Zionistic, on the other hand, they're living there, and they seem to have another agenda, unfortunately. And I think today we merit in being really witnessing, living in the land, witnessing such a great time of seeing how slowly but surely Israel today is now, the next sabbatical year, we're going to be the majority of Jews living in Israel. And the amazing advancements we have in science and all the world, the high-tech world, but of course in Torah, nothing greater than Torah, the knowledge of Jews living in Israel, the level of scholarly individuals here is on a very, very high level. And that's Torah has been taught more than ever was in the world. And I think throughout history. And all these are amazing signs of taking place, of redemption taking place before our eyes. So really, we have to wake up and connect to that. And realize that Hashem has given us an opportunity to be part of this and come home now. And all the Jews, there's a call to all the Jews that are in exile right now. You have an opportunity to see redemption, to be part of redemption. So please come home to the land of Israel. This is a call for you all to return to the land. Jews have lived in Spain many beautiful golden years, but what happened in the end? They were thrown out of Spain. And Jews were, again, scattered about the world, and they lived in Poland for 1,000 years in Poland. Eventually, in the Holocaust, we know what happened in the Holocaust. Nowhere have Jews been more safe in their own homeland. And some people, of course, were asking me questions like, isn't it dangerous to be there? I said, no. The most dangerous thing for a Jew is to live outside his land. It's like a fish. What happens to a fish when you take it out of water? It will die. It can't really survive. And that's the answer. The answer is to come home and to return and to be strong and to support your brothers and sisters here in Israel. And not to estrange yourself from us. And I'm sharing some painful experiences that I had, unfortunately. But of course, there are many that stand with us. And of course, our wonderful friends from the non-Jewish world that see, it's amazing how they see redemption taking place, and they see what God has done to his people. And they're standing together with Israel. I want to bless all those who stand with us and are being great friends with us, and who really, really only concern is to help the people of Israel. And that is a beautiful, beautiful blessing when you see the nations of the world that's actually, they can point out and say, wow, God is redeeming his people. And this we see, it says in Psalms, it says, Shira Ma'alot, B'shuv Hashem et Zion, when Song of Ascents, when God will return to Zion. It says, Hayinu kechomim, we were like dreamers. And then it says, Az yamu hagoyim, then the nations of the world will say, Higdil Hashem lasod, God has done great to his nation. And then it says, God, later on, Higdil Hashem lasod imanu, God has done great with us. Which means first the nations of the world are going to testify to the fact that God has done great to his nation. And only after that the Jews are going to say it. So we see how that psalm of David is so true, so coming true. And the Jews have to wake up, are going to wake up after the Gentile wakes up and sees what's happening. And I see this happening left and right. So many non-Jews that have been here, visited Itamar, or that we meet, are always saying the same thing. God is redeeming his people. And you are the chosen nation. And they see it happening. And we're waiting for many Jews, unfortunately, who have not yet seen it happen. And we have to really make a change. And I think if people just open their hearts and allow the reality to set in, they will see the truth and realize that Hashem is redeeming his people, and now they have an opportunity to be part of this wonderful, wonderful blessing of the redemption of Israel and the land. Well, anyway, here we are in Itamar, stormy day, a beautiful day. I love the rain. It's pretty chilly, a little rain mixed with snow, but whatever it is, we're back in the land and we are back in action. The lesson shall continue. Shabbat shalom, b'sorot tovot, yeshuot v'nechama.